Okay, we're trying this again. Hey! Orientation is locked. No! Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want the orientation to be this way. We're figuring it out as we go, y'all. But I was oh. Okay, hold on. Okay. We are going to start seated. A blanket will be helpful, or a block, or something you can use like a bolster or a block. And Cleo Soul are the tunes I'm playing today. Usually I'll have a playlist, but today I do not. So I'm playing Cleo. You're welcome to play her as well, or something else. And yeah, we're gonna start seated. For those just joining and who may be very confused, especially if you're watching not live, I'm Jade. This is Strength to Stillness, Monday evening flow. I had some technical difficulties on the actual stream link, so we're here tonight. And yeah, we're gonna flow for about 45 minutes. And we'll start with breath work. We'll move into a flow, do some yin to settle the nervous system, and then shavasana to sleep. So to get started, find a comfy seat. We're gonna do alternate nostril breathing, which uses the hands around the face area. So if you would like to lay down, you can. If you would like to sit up straight, you can, but just know we'll be using the hand. Get nice and comfy. You can raise the hips with a blanket or the block or cushion that you have with you. And then before we do anything, we will just start to close the eyes or lower the gaze and settle into the space. For those just joining, we're just doing a 45-minute yoga flow. My name is Jade. This will be all levels. I'll provide modifications. So if you need, I would say you will need a blanket or block for practice. Other than that, you're good. So we're starting, again, seated or laying down. You can close your eyes or just lower your gaze towards the mat or the ground if that's more comfortable for you. And before we start to control the breath, let's just start to check in with where it is. So maybe bring your awareness to the parts of the body that the breath is moving. So maybe notice how the breath moves the stomach out on the inhale, and then how the belly button draws back in on the exhale. Maybe the shoulders raise on the inhale and then fall on the exhale. Maybe you notice the nostrils flaring slightly as you inhale, and then softening as you exhale. And just identify where the breath is most present in the body. So do you feel it most in the belly, in the ribs, Do you feel it in the chest? Or the shoulders? Or maybe you feel it in the back body. Maybe even the head or the hips. Again, just taking a few moments to bring our awareness to the present, to our breath. Just letting it be as it is as we settle in. And then when you're ready, we'll start alternate nostril breathing. So if you're familiar, do your hand however you'd like. If not, you can make this sort of like hang loose symbol with your hand, using your right thumb for your right nostril and your right pinky for your left nostril. And we'll just hover the hand over the face first and take a few cleansing breaths in, and then I'll guide you on which nostril to close. Alexa, volume down 1. Alexa, volume down 1. Okay, so go ahead and hover your hand over your face, and then just take a deep inhale in through the nose, and open the mouth, exhale out the mouth. Again, in through the nose, open the mouth, exhale out the mouth. One more time, inhale through the nose, and then exhale out the mouth. Perfect. This time on the inhale, close the right nostril with the right thumb, and then inhale through the left nostril for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the left nostril, open the right, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the right, open the left, exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling through the left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing the left, opening the right, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the right, open the left, exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen for the change. Inhaling through the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the left, open the right, exhale through the right for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In through the right for 5. Close the right, open the left, exhale through the left for 5. Inhale through the left for 5. Close the left, open the right, and exhale for 5. Inhale through the right for 5. Close the right, open the left, exhale for 5. Last round, listen for the change. Inhale for 5. Close both nostrils and hold for 2, for 1. Open the right, exhale for 5. Inhale through the right for 5. Close the right, hold both nostrils closed for 1, for 2, and open the left, exhale completely for 5. At the bottom of the exhale, let your hand go, and let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Check in with the effects of the alternate nostril breathing. See what it did to your physical body, to your emotions, your thoughts, your energy. I notice a lot of the times when I do breath work, that's when like I just notice what's actually happening in the body. So just notice what was revealed. And then we'll start to bring some gentle movement into the body. You can start by maybe rotating the wrists one way and then the other. And then rotating the neck one way and then the other. And then if you haven't opened your eyes already, you can go ahead and slowly blink them open. And you can either swing the legs to the sides and come onto the knees, or just roll over onto the knees, and we're gonna come into child's pose. So big toes are gonna be touching, and you can either have the legs zipped up close together, or you can bring the knees as wide as your yoga mat. For both variations, you'll walk your fingertips forward as much as you can, really trying to stretch the sides, well, really all four sides of the body, and then allow your head to rest on the mat. Once you're there, start to take some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. With each inhale, feel the body expand and fill with air. And on the exhale, feel the bones sink down closer towards the center of the earth. Today's practice is more of a mobility flow, so we'll be doing a lot of dynamic movement to lubricate the joints and just do some longevity work for the body. So I just invite you to bring a sense of gratitude to your body and its abilities for today's practice. After your next exhale, go ahead and walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. They can come all the way off the mat if you want. And then sink back down into the child's pose, now stretching the left side of the body. So you might feel your hips start to raise up from your heels. Just think about, even if the hips don't touch the heels, just think about really drawing that, especially that left hip crease down and back towards the back edge of your mat. And you should feel an even deeper stretch in the side of the body. Take one more inhale here. Stay for the exhale. And then at the bottom of the exhale, walk the hands to the opposite side. And then same thing on this side. Keep sending those hips, those sits bones back and down. And breathe into the right side body. Good, take one more inhale here. Stay for the exhale. Good, and then walk your hands back to center. And then in towards your knees. And then we're gonna come to all fours, tabletop position. Wrists underneath the fingertips. Knees directly underneath the hip bones. You should be on the tops of your feet. And you should be pressing away from the mat, so we don't want to sink like this. We want to be engaged so we're not hurting any of our joints. So just take one more breath in to feel this engagement. Stay for the exhale, press even more into the mat. And then on your next inhale, drop the belly, send the chest and the gaze forward for cow pose. And then exhale, opposite movement, arch the spine, press into the mat, drop the head for cat. And then keep moving with your breath here. Inhaling, arching the spine, lifting the gaze for cow pose. And exhaling, really bringing a curve into that back for cat pose. Do 3 to 4 more rounds, moving with the tempo of your breath. Let that be your guide throughout practice, and everything that I say is a suggestion. This is your practice. This is your space to do what you need to do for your body, your mind, and your spirit. So just remember that. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. After this next exhale, come back to a neutral spine and tuck the toes. Inhale for cow spine again, look up. This time, exhale, come to neutral and just hover the knees. We're here for 4 breaths. So take an inhale, and then if you want, exhale out the mouth to engage the core. Again, inhale through the nose, and exhale. 2 more. Inhale through the nose, exhale, and last one. Inhale through the nose, and exhale. Good. At the bottom of the exhale, send the hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Once you're there, step your feet out nice and wide, and your hands out nice and wide too. For downward facing dog, we want to be in like an upside down V. So with a V, both lines are straight, so that's what we're aiming for. And if you feel like your back is sort of having a hard time straightening, go ahead and bend the knees, and that'll allow the chest to fall closer to the mat. In your down dog, you can pedal out the feet if you like, bending one knee and then the other. We're just lifting up onto the toes and then really drawing the heels down towards the mat. After a few breaths of movement, bring your hands and feet back in line with your shoulders and your hips. And we're gonna do these spinal waves. So we'll inhale to roll forward to plank pose. And then we'll exhale to bend the knees and lead with the tailbone up to downward facing dog. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale to roll forward to plank. And then exhale, bend the knees, tailbone up to down dog. Twice more. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, bend back to down dog. 1 more. Inhale forward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. Take a breath here. Your arms may be tired, but we'll be out of this soon. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. And then exhale, step it forward in between your 2 hands. You can lower onto that back knee. And we're in our low lunge. We're gonna walk our right foot out towards the right. Dude, I'm laughing at these comments. Anyway. Got distracted. We're gonna be walking the right foot out to the outer right edge of the mat. So we're in our lunge. This would be sort of like a lizard variation. So the right foot is out wide, and the toes are like angled outwards. So they're not facing forward anymore. They're angled out towards the right. You can stay here if you want, if this feels like a lot in the hips. If you would like more, we're gonna move in these hip circles. So start to just use the hands as leverage here to move the hips around in a circle. And you might notice that you need more or less space. So you can walk this foot out wider if you need to, or closer in if that feels better. And the circles might be small, and you can go as slow as you'd like. Really just thinking about if you're making a literal circle with the hips reaching every point on that circle. So really getting deep into those hip joints, continuing to breathe deeply in and out through the nose. You can start moving in the opposite direction if you haven't already. And if there's a spot that feels like there's a lot of tightness in there, you're welcome to stay there or just rock back and forth in that area. Good. Take 1 or 2 more cycles of breath to circle the hips in this direction. And then bring the hips back to neutral. We're going to walk the foot in and frame the foot with the hands. And then send the hip points back to be in line with that back knee. So we're in a half split. So right leg is straight and left leg, we're on the knee. Left hip is right above left knee. So we're not going all the way back like this. If you need to lift the ground up to you, a block or a book or a roll of toilet paper could be helpful here. Otherwise, bring the fingertips or the palm of the hand on the inside of that right foot. And then with the right hand, inhale to reach up towards the sky for a twist. So we're in this half split twist. And from here, we'll make some arm circles. So drop the arm back, down, and around. And we'll do that twice more in this direction. Again, moving slowly to really dust the cobwebs out of every crevice in that shoulder socket. Go ahead and move in the opposite direction. And 2 more times this way. Good. The next time your hand is up, look at the fingertips. And then exhale, curve the right fingertips under the left. And then inhale them back up. We'll do that 3 more times. Exhale, engage the core and curve. Twice more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, curve. 1 more time. Inhale, reach up. This time, thread the needle. Bring the back. Actually, I'm doing the wrong thing, y'all. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, place that hand back down. Walk your right hand on the inside of the left foot. And then slide that left foot out to step off to the right side of your mat. So we're in this sort of gate pose legs. Wasn't doing the wrong thing, was just getting ahead of myself. So once you're there, so these are the legs we're in right now, but our hands are still on the mat. Again, option to just stay here and feel this out because this can already be a stretch in this side of the leg. Otherwise, we'll go into these adductor stretches. So you're welcome to stay on the top of the back foot or tuck the toes. And then inhale, shift forward a little bit. And then exhale, rock the hips back only as much as feels like sensation and not pain in the hip pelvis area. You will feel it. So inhale, shift forward, and exhale, shift back. Getting into those adductor muscles, those psoas muscles, moving with your breath. You're also welcome to stay with the hips back and reach the fingertips forward. We'll take about 4 to 6 more rounds of breath to do these rocks or to hold wherever feels best for you. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. Lovely. Next time your hips are back in line with that left knee, now we'll plant that left hand into the mat and reach the right fingertips up towards the sky. Take one more inhale really to reach those fingertips beyond the tips of the fingers. And then exhale, we'll thread the needle here, bringing the right hand underneath the left arm and bringing the right shoulder to rest onto the mat if you can. You're welcome to bring blocks or a pillow or blanket to raise the ground up to you here, because again, this can be an intense one. And we're just here for 3 cycles of breath. Think about sending the breath down to the pelvis on the inhale, and then feeling the spine ring out on the exhale. 2 more cycles of breath here. Good. Take an inhale. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, drop them back down to the mat. We'll take that right leg and we're going to send it back to tabletop, but first we'll do just some circles with the hip to reset that hip since we opened it up quite a bit. If you're moving in one direction, go ahead and move in the opposite direction. And then let it come back to table. You can send the hips back. Walk the fingertips forward and come to child's pose for 3 cycles of breath. If you'd like, you can walk the elbows forward and bring the palms together up and over the head to give the wrists a break as well and to stretch the backs of the arms. 2 more cycles of breath here. Lovely. On your next inhale, reach the fingertips forward. Shift back to tabletop. And it's time for the other side. Where do we start? Okay, we were in down dog. So tuck the toes. We're going to do a little bit of core before we get there. Inhale, drop the belly, look up for cow. And then exhale, hovering table, lift the knees. We're here for 4 cycles of breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose. In through the nose. And one more, in through the nose. This time on the exhale, lift the hips up and back to down dog. On your next inhale, lift the left leg up and back. And then exhale, step it forward and through to your lunge. Back knee lowers down. And we crawl the left toes out towards the side, towards the left side of the mat. Toes can splay out as well. And it's time for some hip mobility. So begin moving your hips in a circle. Again, taking as little or as big circles as feel good in your body. Moving as slow as you'd like. Lingering in places that need a little extra love. If you're moving in one direction, go ahead and switch directions. I just really, this practice just makes me think of cobwebs in corners of the room and like taking a duster and just getting in every inch. Okay, bring your hips back to center, walk the foot back in between the hands, and we'll shift the hips back to be in line with the right knee now. So we're in half split. For this half split variation, we want the hips directly over the right knee, and we're not going all the way back like this, unless that feels better for you. So we're here in half split, and we're going to go back into our twist. So again, if you have a block or pillow or bolster, you can plant your right hand on top of it, and then inhale the left arm up for your twist here, or the hand could be straight on the mat. In your twist, really draw the left hip crease back. That should bring some brightness into the back of that left leg. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, we're just gonna curve in towards the right arm. Good, 3 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, curve to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, you should feel the core here. And one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, curve. Good. Inhale, reach up. And then just plant that palm, this time on the inside of the left foot. And then go ahead and slide that left foot off to the left side of the mat. So again, we're here in our gate legs, but our hands are on the mat. Moving into these adductor rocks, take an inhale, bring the shoulder points just slightly in front of the wrists, and then exhale, send those hips back towards the right heel. You can stay like that, inhaling to come forward and exhaling to rock back. You can rest back here with the hips sinking down towards the mat and walk the fingertips forward. Or again, you can just stay here, as this might be enough sensation for you. So take 4 more cycles of breath to choose a variation that feels best in your body, giving thanks for what you are able to do. Lovely. The next time your hips are back to neutral, we'll plant the right hand into the mat and inhale, lift the left fingertips up towards the sky. Take another inhale just to really establish that press into the mat with the right hand and the reach with the left fingertips. And then exhale, thread the needle, bringing the left shoulder onto the mat or towards the mat or on a block or blanket or cushion. And coming into this twist. And 3 breaths here. Sending the breath down into the pelvis and the hips on the inhale. And then finding somewhere to soften on the exhale. I just noticed I'm really gripping in this right hand and like there's a lot of tension in my right arm right now. So I'm gonna see on these last 2 inhales how I can soften that area. After your last exhale, press into the right palm and inhale, reach the left fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, you can plant the left palm back down, bringing the hands back under the shoulders, and we can wring out this left hip. So just kick it back and go ahead and circle it out, starting in one direction. And then the opposite. You might hear some snap, crackle, and pops. And then you can bring that leg back to tabletop. And again, we will come to child's pose. So decide if you want the legs together or knees mat's width. And then drop the hips back towards the heels, send the fingertips forward. Let the head rest on the mat. And start to breathe deeply. Take 2 to 3 more cycles of breath in child's pose. We're about to move into our last flow, which is just going to be a few sun salutations, which I'll guide through. We're going to build some heat and then move right into yin to get right into that nervous system down regulation. So mentally prepare yourself for a little bit of heart rate increase. Take one more inhale in your child's pose. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale, shift back up to all fours. And exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale to look forward. And exhale, step towards the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. Feet can be hips width apart or flush together. Whatever feels best in your hips. Take one more inhale here. And stay for the exhale. And then inhale, halfway lift. So we're bringing the torso parallel to the mat. The hands can be fingertips on the mat, fingertips on the shins, or fingertips on the thighs. We just want to avoid the knees. Take one more inhale here and half lift. And then exhale back to your fold. Good. Inhale, reach all the way up towards the sky. Come to standing. This is upward salute. And then exhale, hands through heart center. And then open to your side for mountain pose. Good. The sequence we're about to do a few times through is called Sun Salutation A or Surya Namaskar A. It's a lovely intro flow for new yogis. And I just love it to get into a movement meditation. So here we go. Starting in mountain pose. So again, feet together or hips distance apart. Palms open, face towards the front of your mat. Take an inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky for upward salute. And then exhale, fold forward. On your next inhale, lift up back to that flat back for halfway lift. And then exhale, back to your forward fold. Good. Plant the palms, step the feet back to a plank pose. You can be in full plank, top of a push-up, knees off the ground, or you can bring the knees down to the ground. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, bend the elbows, lower all the way down to the mat. Good. Untuck the toes, press into the palms. And inhale, lift the chest for cobra. Exhale, release back down, tuck the toes, and make your way back to downward facing dog. Once in downward facing dog, take 3 cycles of breath. In and out through the nose. This is your rest point in your sun salutation. On your next inhale, look forward. And on your exhale, step to the top of your mat. Right away, inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, back to your fold. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, upward salute. And exhale, hands down to mountain pose. Good. Take a few cycles of breath to reset. And we're going to go again. Let me change the music. Alexa, play When I'm in Your Arms by Cleo Soul.
When I'm in Your Arms by Cleo
I can listen to the song on repeat for the rest of my life. Okay, mountain pose. Feet hips distance or flush. We're gonna move a little faster. Whew. Inhale through the nose, reach up towards the sky for upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, back to your fold. Plant the palms, step the feet back to plank. Good. Listen for the change here. You're welcome to lower all the way down to the belly again, or this time inhale, shift forward, and exhale, bend the elbows halfway. On your inhale, shift forward to upward facing dog, keeping the thighs and the knees off the ground. And then exhale, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take 3 cycles of breath here. There's many variations of sun salutation A, so you're welcome to take whatever variation feels good. I'll do a few different ones. We're gonna move through 3 or 4 more rounds. The most important thing is to stay connected to your breath. On your next inhale, look forward, and exhale, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, back to your fold. Good. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, upward salute. And exhale, hands through heart center, and open to mountain. Right away, we'll inhale, reach up towards the sky, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, fold back over. Plant the palms, step the feet back to plank, and choose what feels best. Inhale, shift forward, and on your exhale, either lower all the way down to the belly or halfway. Shift forward to your cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, make your way to downward facing dog. You're welcome to come through the knees onto tabletop, tuck the toes, and then lift the hips up and back to down dog. Once in your down dog, take 3 cycles of breath, in and out through the nose, exhaling through the mouth if you need to release some excess heat. On your next inhale, look forward. And on your exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, crown of the head reaches forward, and exhale, fold back over your legs. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. And this time we'll go right back down. Exhale, fold back over your legs. Good. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold over your legs. Good. Plant the palms, step the feet back, come to your plank. Decide how you're going to get to the ground, and then inhale, shift forward, and exhale, lower all the way or halfway. Inhale, lift to your back bend, and then exhale, make your way to down dog, through plank, through tabletop, whatever feels best. And once you're there, take 3 full cycles of breath, in through the nose, and out through the nose. On your next inhale, send the gaze forward, and exhale, step or hop to the top. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Maybe the fingertips touch at the top. And exhale, we're gonna go right back down, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, back to your fold. Plant the palms, step the feet back, You're in your plank. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way or halfway. Inhale for your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath. On an inhale, send the gaze forward. Bend the knees and exhale, step or hop to the top. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Feel your thumbs press into your chest space. And take a few deep breaths in through the nose. And open the mouth, exhale out the mouth. You might feel your heartbeat on your thumbs. It might be a little bit faster than when practice started. As you tune into that sensation of the racing heart, maybe, I know for me, faster heartbeat can feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so, as we transition to a slower part of practice, just starting to really use our breath as our tool, our medicine, our source of healing right now. So start to deepen your breath, taking long, deep inhales, and even longer exhales. And just notice how slowly your heart rate starts to slow down. The body starts to naturally cool down, even though we're still standing. Keeping the hands where they are, if you can. You can either keep the eyes closed or open them, and we're gonna walk the feet as wide as the yoga mat. Toes splayed off the sides. And then from here, take an inhale, filling the belly, the ribs, and the chest, and maybe the chest space raises just a little bit. And then on your exhale, start to bend the knees and sink the hips down. We're coming into a yogi squat. So sinking the hips down as much as they can go. If you need to walk the feet out wider to bring more space for the hips, you're welcome to. And we can, again, keep the hands at the heart. If you need to bring the hands to the mat, you're welcome to. Or if you need to bring a cushion or block under the sits bones for more support, you can. And once you're in a place that, again, you feel a sensation but no pain, maybe close the eyes, maybe just lower the gaze, and we'll just take 10, or not 10, we'll take 3 full deep breaths here. So first, let's just take a cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. And then inhale in through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and open the mouth. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhaling for 5. Maybe you feel the heart space lift and expand. And open the mouth. Exhale. Release for 6. At the bottom of the exhale, you can use the hands to help you lower the sits bones to the mat. And we're going to walk the feet out as wide as you can. Again, as wide as feels comfortable. We don't need to whack the legs open if that's not where they're meant to go. So once you're there, everyone take your hands and grab onto the meat of your butt and just pull it back, lift it up, and then sit it back down. And you'll feel the sits bones kind of make more solid contact with the ground. That just helps you know where neutral is. So once you're here, we're going to go into a forward fold. This is where your cushion, blanket, prop, bolster will be really helpful because, again, we're moving into yin. So we're going to be holding this pose for about 3 minutes. So if you heard that and you're like, oh my god, that's crazy, go ahead and close your legs just a little bit more so the stretch is not so intense. And then take your prop, whatever you opted to have for practice, and then you'll inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Really think about lengthening both sides of the body here. And then exhale, think up and over, drape the torso over whatever prop you have. And then rest your head or your cheek, if you can, on the prop or your hands. If you have a bolster, you're welcome to put it in front of you and just let the head rest. There are many options. So once you find a spot that feels supportive, where you can rest for 3 minutes, start to drop in. In yin or restorative or any yoga practice that causes more stillness, it can be easy for the mind to wander, which is natural and human and will happen. So a tool we can use is our breath. So maybe this whole time, in every pose we do, you're just keeping your awareness, your mind's eye on your inhale and your exhale. Maybe you're saying, breathing in as you inhale and breathing out as you exhale. Or maybe you use an affirmation, like inhaling, I am safe, and exhaling, I am present. Or maybe you just access the breath when thoughts start to take you out of the practice, out of the space. Maybe you think about sending breath into the hips as you inhale and feeling everything relax, release as you exhale. If your head is turned to one direction, go ahead and turn it in the opposite direction. Got about 1 more minute left in this shape. I think a lot of times in yin, we feel like we can't move once we're in the posture, which it's true, you want to minimize the amount of movement once you're in the pose. However, naturally the body will adjust. The longer you're in a shape, the more gravity will affect the body. So if you need to adjust yourself in any of the shapes for the rest of the practice, please feel free to do so. Again, this is your practice, your space to rest, to breathe, to move, just to be. Take one more inhale wherever you are. Stay for the exhale. Good, and then for the rest of practice, imagine you're a slug and you're just gonna move, even in transition, as slow as you can. So just start to gently walk your hands in towards the center of your body, and then start to roll up the spine, coming to a seat. And again, moving slow, gently, pick up your prop, move it to the side. Plant your hands behind you and just start to walk your legs in together. You can use the arms to bring them in. Plant the arms back behind you and just windshield wiper the toes in and out. Good. Go ahead and plant your feet on the outer edges of your mat, and then start to lower yourself down towards flat back, so you can scoot your sits bones forward if you need to come forward to the front of the mat, and then you will lower down to the back and allow the head, neck, shoulders, spine to release onto the mat. Good, so feet are as wide as the yoga mat, and knees are gonna knock in towards each other to touch if they can. If they don't touch, that's okay. You can use your blanket on top of them as like a little bit of weight to help them come in closer together, but we're really just allowing them to fall inward as a counter stretch to the open hip position we were just in. Once you're here, I offer to put one hand on the heart and one hand on the chest, and start to breathe deeply into the space where your hands are touching. And we'll just be here for a minute, breathing, bringing some rest into the body. On your next inhale, you can bring the knees back up towards to point to the sky. And then we'll send the left leg down straight and pull the right knee in towards our chest. Take an inhale to really pull it in towards the chest. And then exhale, using the left hand on the shin, you can pull the right knee across the body to the left and twist to the left. So we're in a twist to the left. Your leg can be all the way on the ground if that feels comfortable, or you can use a pillow, a cushion, a blanket, a block to raise the ground towards you. If you feel your right shoulder coming off the mat, try to shimmy this left shoulder towards the left side of the mat and see if that helps you get the right shoulder closer to the mat. And then rest here. We'll be here for about a minute and a half. We're gonna roll to the other side, do the other side for a minute and a half, and then we'll go to Shavasana. So as practice is coming to an end, just take in these last few moments of mindful movement, conscious rest, keeping those exhales longer than the inhale to signal to the body that it's time to rest, that you're safe, that all is well. Take one more inhale on the side. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale, pull the knee back into center. You can bring the left one in to meet it. Give yourself a hug and rock the knees side to side. And then grab onto that left knee, send the right leg out straight down towards the mat. And then twisting to the second side, we'll use the right hand on the left knee to pull it across the body to the right side of the mat. You can open the left arm out to a T or to a cactus. Again, really trying to draw that left shoulder down towards the mat. It's okay if it doesn't touch. You can use any props under that left knee, shin, foot to raise the ground, up to you. We're here for a minute and a half. Our last shape before our final rest. We've got about 25 more seconds in this twist. And then we're going to go to Shavasana. So if there's anything else you'd rather do besides this twist in these last few moments, you can start heading there. Maybe a plow or a bridge. Happy baby. For those of us still in our twist, you can take one more deep inhale, imagining the breath filling the entire body with air, like a balloon. Maybe feel the body get lighter. Sip in a little more air, And then open the mouth, exhale, in your twist, and feel everything release, relax. And then again, moving slowly, pull that left knee in towards the chest. You can bring the right knee in to meet it one more time. Give yourself a hug, rock from side to side. Again, you can do happy baby or a plow here. And then we'll take 6 to 8 cycles of breath to make our way to Shavasana. So you're welcome to take any posture that you feel you can lay in for about 3 to 5 minutes to breathe, to integrate. If you want to take traditional Shavasana, we'll lengthen our legs down towards the bottom outer corners of the mat and bring the hands out to our sides, palms faced up, sort of like we're standing in mountain pose. You can bring a blanket over your whole body if you're cold, a blanket under the knees. You can bring a blanket on top of the pelvis, like a weighted blanket for some weight. Whatever feels best. You can put the hands on the body somewhere if you feel like you need some loving touch. And take 3 more cycles of breath to get comfy. You can start to close the eyes, continuing to deepen the breath, settling into our final shape, final moments to regulate the nervous system, to meditate, to check in, to provide some healing for the body. We'll do some breath work to move into our rest. So we'll do something called bumblebee breath. We'll take an inhale for 5 counts, and then an exhale, you'll hum. There's no length to the exhale, you're just gonna hum, pushing all of the air out of your lungs until there's no air left and you have to inhale. We're gonna do that 3 times. You're welcome to keep the hands down, or you can use the hands to close the ears, and that just brings sort of a sense of sensory deprivation to help you hear your own hum even more. So we'll start with a cleansing breath in through the nose, and open the mouth, exhale out the mouth. Good, again, inhale in through the nose, and open the mouth, exhale. And we'll begin bumblebee breathing, inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Last one, inhaling for 5, and exhale. Let the breath return to its natural rhythm. Let everything release into the mat. Let the brain, the mind, the thoughts relax. There's nothing to do, nowhere to be, except here, resting, rejuvenating, healing in Shavasana. I'll let you know when it's time to come out.
I can feel that you're scared. I am scared, so let's be scared so I can fight. Who do I fight? Not myself, not today. I won't play that game, not today. That you own everything from your home, on your shoes and on your back. Even the comb through your dome, it's not so weird as you wink in a blink. It could be gone, and you're lost deep in your soul, and you're lost in your soul. Just know that you are on your own, but that's okay, 'cause we all I'm here with you, I'm here with you. Hold my hand and let go. Like an echo.
Take your time. Continue to move slowly as we bring our awareness back to our bodies. We can just start with gentle movement, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes. Rotating the wrists. Maybe a good morning or full body stretch. Fingertips above your head, toes towards the bottoms of the mat. And then make your way towards a seat. You can roll over to one side, coming into a fetal position. A pose often recognized as representing rebirth, or the transition from Shavasana, the death, or the closing of the practice, back into life. Maybe take one more inhale here, and exhale. And then use a hand to press yourself up. You can come back to the seat you started in, or whatever feels comfortable to end practice. We'll bring a hand. Let's bring the hands together and rub them together, creating some heat, some friction between the palms. Keep going, really rub them, start to feel that heat be created. And once we're done, keep going. We're gonna place our hands on a part of our body that we feel like needs some warmth, some love, some healing. So take one more inhale here, rub the hands together, and then exhale, place them on a part of your body that needs some warmth. And then to close, maybe we'll close the eyes or bow the head towards the heart. Take a deep inhale, breathe into your hands. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Giving thanks to yourself for showing up for this type of practice. Giving thanks to the practice of yoga for supporting us through life. Giving thanks to our bodies. And I thank you for allowing me to guide you. If you feel called, you can say out loud or in your head, Ashe and Namaste. Thank you, those who came live and those watching post live. We will be here, or I, myself, or someone else will be here teaching every Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific. There will be options to donate, usually on the screen during stream, but always in the description or on the YouTube channel. I really appreciate everyone who practiced, and I hope this was supportive for your upcoming week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Get some rest, drink plenty of water, do something nice for yourself.